So Kester Brown says, I code from scratch. I love coding. Designing is my problem. So Kester Brown says, I code from scratch. I love coding. And I totally understand the feeling. Kester says, designing is my problem. Well, for design, I have a few videos on the channel. Basically, I understand some people are pure developers. Other people are more designer oriented. I feel like I'm a hybrid. Is it possible? I feel like I'm a web designer, but I've had to deal with both sides. And I think it's easier to learn good practice of design for a developer than it is to learn pure coding for someone that's purely creative and that don't want to dive into code. So basically what I recommend, Kester, is if you really want to get better at design, of course you should watch whatever is on the channel, but jokes aside, spend 15 minutes per day. Go to the awards website or go to website-inspiration.com, I think. I've put some links in some of my videos. If you check on my channel, I have some videos just about learning to get better at design. That's what I started doing. I was just watching website each and every day, try to understand, try to get better. And it's just like when you learn a language, just think about it. You learn your language by just listening to your parents or the people around you, and at one point you could just talk. And basically design, even though I understand that some people are really made and tailored for design, but what I'm trying to say is the more you look at good design, the more you're going to understand what's good and what's not good. And then of course you can get some books, you can get some courses if you want, or some free tutorials. But to me, especially for web design, if you respect a few things, like go minimal, try to have minimal web design. Don't try to put everything you can, I think Steve Jobs said that the hardest thing was not what you can add, but what you can remove. Or I don't phrase it correctly, but what I'm trying to say is that when there's nothing left to remove and it still looks good, then probably you've accomplished your mission. So try to go minimal. Get some info on the psychology of colors. People often ask about the psychology of colors, and it depends where you live on Earth, because in Europe, for example, and in the US also, I think, the black color, when you wear black clothes, you go to a funeral, everybody would think that that's normal. And from my understanding, in Muslim countries, it would be white color. So psychology of colors can be totally different depending on where you live. So sometimes I see some posts, they say, okay, this color is bad, this color is good, but it really depends. It depends where you live on Earth. There are a few things that can help you with design. And then if you really have a hard time, just look at the best ones and try to recreate it. Observe and then try to recreate. I'm not talking about stealing. I'm talking about, it could be a project that you're never going to release, but try to reproduce what you see and you're going to become better at it. I strongly believe in that. Some people think it's impossible to learn good design when you're not a designer. I'm not saying you're going to become Picasso or whatever, but you don't need that. You can have really beautiful looking websites if you just take the time. And honestly, what's 15 minutes per day? It is sometimes if you're busy, but if you take 15 minutes per day, come back in a year, and I'm pretty sure that you will have evolved so much.